Hey everyone, and welcome to another Rethink ABA Startup Community webinar. For those of you who may not be that familiar with Rethink, we are a behavioral health software, and we provide clinical practice management, training, and billing solutions for people who are serving the autism and other behavioral health community. Our startup community was developed earlier this year to specifically address the needs of BCBAs who may be considering or have recently started their own practice to provide you resources to be able to do that effectively. Just a couple housekeeping things before we get started. My name is Erin Mayberry. I am Director of Community Engagement here at Rethink, and I am joined by Pete Polgar. He is the founder of Glenmont Consulting, and he has actually been a consultant for Rethink for several years. He is part of our startup community. We have a Facebook page along with a lot of other resources I'll be sharing more information about at the end. So you will definitely have access to him post-webinar to ask questions and keep in contact, and we'll give you lots of additional information at the end of the webinar on that. If you do have any questions as we are going through the webinar, there is a section on your GoToWebinar pane for questions. So if you type those in, with any remaining time that we have at the end of the webinar, we will make sure to get to those questions. I think, Pete, at this point, I will hand it over to you.
Awesome, thank you. Hello, everyone. So as Erin said, my name is Pete Polgar, and I'm the owner of Glenmont Consulting. Today, I'm going to talk about how to optimize your ABA therapy practice for local SEO. I'm going to try to do my best and not use a lot of jargon. I know we use things, but if I use terms like local optimization, local SEO, they're all the same thing. All right, so let's just dive right into it. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with something personal. So this is my cute little family. My wife, Sarah, she's a BCBA, part-time heroine, and that's my son, Edison. So if you're from New Jersey, we're down the shore. If you ever see us, say hi. But I did want to show that this is something I'm really passionate about. The reason I am doing this is to help, and that, as Erin said, I will be in the Facebook group answering questions. So if you get started, I can definitely help you. As long as we're communicating through there, I can. It'll be easier for me to answer you guys quicker. All right, but anyways, this is my family. But let's talk about today. What is local optimization? So local optimization is an SEO, and local optimization / SEO is a search engine optimization strategy that helps your business be more visible on local search on Google. That's the definition. But what is it really? It's this. Okay, obviously your screen may look a little different. I don't have my phone out here to show you, but I did a search on the top where it says ABA therapy near me, and these are the results that I got. Obviously, this was on a desktop, so it's going to look different on your phone, but this is what we call your snack pack. I did not come up with that name, but it is a term that marketers use. You want to be top on the snack pack. So this is an advertisement, and then these are your 3 placements, and this is where you want to get to. And again, you may see some things on my screen that are different. That's because I do have marketing tools all over. All right, and I'm going to show you how to optimize for this. So elements of success. Here's what we're going to need. You're going to need a website and content. You're going to need name, address, and phone number. So you're going to have that, which is pretty much everybody. Then you're going to need a Google business profile. I know I'm going to go quick, but that's okay, because if you like this presentation, I'll be happy to explore and dive in deeper into these subjects. All right, so let's start by giving ourselves a stretch, and let's do this. I don't know if you guys like memes, but I love memes and GIFs, so there will be a few more throughout the presentation. So I'm going to start with something more of a concept that I want you guys to see, okay, or to understand before we talk about website. What do you see on the left-hand screen? I see big sale, women's fashion, menswear, homeware, furniture, kitchenware, lighting, sale, sale, sale. And I know you can't answer this, but when I've done this exercise a few times in the past, people don't know what they're looking at. Do you think of high quality when you look at this? Not really. Do you think they're good at fashion or lighting, or is this a discount store? So it's confusing, okay? Now, I'm going to show you something that's actually a local business by us. I did look them up. They actually have very good food, but I want to talk about what they're doing with their marketing, which is very confusing. So it's called Gyro City Fried Chicken and Pizza. Platters, falafel, sandwiches, ice cream. It's a little confusing, right? But not only that, when you see the images, it's images of burgers. So food is actually very good there. I looked at the reviews, so that's why I feel comfortable showing this, but marketing is a little confusing. And here's the thing, you could be called Gyro City and serve those products, but if you're calling yourself Gyro City, do you think of ice cream or do you think of falafels, gyros, platters? So this is something that I want you to think about, right? It's confusing. You may be really good at what you do, but if your website's confusing, Google's not going to know what to do with you, right? So what I mean by that is we need to make sure that we're as clear as possible. Try to remove the jargon and try to remove anything that may be interpreted differently. So let me show you some examples. And by the way, don't worry if your website is not pretty or designed well. If it has the fundamentals of a decent website, this will work for you, okay? So the purpose of a website needs to be clear and make it easy to understand for your end user, okay? It could be clients, patients, parents, partners, anybody. Just make it easy to, when I look at your website, just make it easy to understand. So I've been looking at some people in the space, and I'm not going to mention what companies. And obviously there's going to be no, competitors of yours. There's nobody being highlighted in this presentation, but I've been seeing what people are using on their headlines. Helping children thrive, integrated approach to therapy, customized programs for children. So here's the thing. When I look at that, I don't know what that means. So what kind of program? Like a fitness program or integrated approach to therapy? What kind of therapy? ABA, PT, speech, helping children thrive in what? Education? So you see where I'm going with this. So the user can't understand. But now let's put Google as a separate user. What would Google rank you for? Thriving, programs, integrated, customized? None of that makes sense. So obviously you're gonna have to do a little bit of keyword research, which is a whole nother topic we could talk about, but to keep it simple, I just put it on the right-hand side. ABA therapy services in New Jersey. If you're in a bigger city, like ABA services in New York City, that's it. Just leave it that, very easy. Or ABA services in Bergen County, whatever, you're gonna have to work on that yourself, but you don't need to make it too complicated. Yes, you can always improve, but by you doing something this easy, you're already moving in the right direction. And then when you do hire a professional, they can actually help you significantly, because this is something, when you're done with this presentation, you can go and update your website today, all right? So we will give you a copy of this presentation. I was trying to be cute here and I wanted to make a note card. I know my wife loves these things, so I figured let me make it a little different. But if you were to do anything right now, take a screenshot of this if you can't wait, but you will get a copy of this. But this is your local webpage cheat sheet, okay? So first thing I want you to understand is clear web page title. Another one, this is an SEO thing, and it depends if you're on WordPress, Wix. There's many different platforms out there. It doesn't matter what you're on. Have one header, H1, okay? That's what Google sees. You can have multiple H2s, H3s. I know this is a little technical, but when you look at your website, if it says one H1, just have one. Yes, you can have things look like bigger titles, but in Google's eyes, just have one title. Think of it this way. A book, it has one title, so does your web page. Next is clear meta titles, clear meta title with the keyword. So ABA therapy services must be in that. Show you what that is as well. One meta description with the keyword. And remind you, there are character limits to this. You can't write long paragraphs. So it's 60 characters and 150 characters for the meta title and meta description. So you may have to get a little crafty, wordsmith, but again, do the best you can. One focus keyword per page, but you can have supporting keywords. What I mean by that is if you provide ABA therapy services on this page, don't talk about your educational program and physical therapy program on that page. Make a separate page. But again, For now, I'm trying to keep it simple. So just be clear, one keyword, but you can have supporting keywords supporting that. So for example, ABA therapy, you may use behavioral health throughout the copy, autism, BCBAs, RBTs, anything that says that supports that keyword, but your focus keyword is ABA therapy services, okay? You can use this across a lot of different SEO techniques as well. Next one is make sure Google Maps is embedded on that page. It's a technique that, and make sure it's Google Maps, not a third-party tool, not a screenshot, Google Maps. This is a very good indicator for Google. Have at least 300 words of copy. Usually more is better. I always try to shoot for 500 to 1,000, but then it gets harder to design them, but at least 300 words, okay? Hours of operation, phone number, that's pretty much all you need there. Reviews, if you have any, caution, I know that you're not allowed to do this because it may violate some of your ethics code. So please refer back to that. So I'm not going to tell you to collect reviews. I'm not going to tell you to post your reviews, but these are SEO techniques. So before you do anything, make sure you are following the guidelines. And last but not least, this is a very easy thing to really mess up. Have your company name listed, but do not use legal names. So for example, Glenmont Consulting LLC is not what's on my website. It's just Glenmont Consulting. So what you file your paperwork with the IRS and what people know you, if it's not the same, don't do it. So just keep it as Glenmont Consulting, remove the LLC, right? Or whatever else you have, or if you have a DBA, whatever people, your customers know you as, that's what you're gonna use. Again, a lot of people do make this mistake and it does hurt your rankings. So let me just show you some examples. This is a client of mine. I'm just going to walk you through the elements here. It's a simple screenshot. It is dynamic, so I tried to do the best I can, but here's the thing. So let's talk about, this is the title, McMahon Insurance Agency, Ocean City, New Jersey. Okay. Luckily, their name has insurance agency in it, and that's what they are. But some insurance agencies could be McMahon and Associates. So we would still need to make sure that insurance agency was the header. There's different techniques there. We're adding some additional copy on the bottom. Where do we service? So it's New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Ocean City, and we talk about things that are relevant to this location. Seashore community, family resort, Jersey Shore. That's their specialty. They specialize a lot of coastal type of businesses, properties, home ownership, anything around that area. So we're calling that out. So we're adding some copy. Mind you, again, this is a very complex strategy that I'm going to be showing you because there's different things that we're doing because insurance is it's very competitive because you're competing with a lot of big companies and a lot of money is put behind it. So some of the techniques I'm going to be showing you don't need to do. So here we go, Google Maps, office hours, phone numbers, mailing address. That's their mailing address, but that's their actual address, and there's a reason they do that. But they're also known as McMahon Agency and McMahon Insurance. These are alternative names for them. It's not the title, but it's supporting the company name. So again, if people know you as different things, you can still put it on your page, but you remember the title needs to be accurate. So Google needs to know McMahon Insurance Agency is what Google sees. Everything else just supports that, okay? On the right-hand side, reviews, and this is a scrolling one. We use these because it has some good keywords in there, but it's also, we get 5-star reviews and then additional copy here. Not a lot is going on here, but if you look at it, we talk about, Jersey Shore is known for mini golf. We're known for boat launches and, all these little areas around it that just strengthens our profile of like, we're located in this area and this is what we do, okay? You don't need to go crazy with the design. This is a complicated design because there's animations and all kinds of fun stuff going on, but I did want to show you this, okay? So that's what it should look like. Doesn't matter what the design is, as long as you have the copy and content on those elements there, you'll be good to go. This, I'm sorry, it's a little blurry. I try to make it bigger, but this is your meta title, meta description. So again, we're blessed with the name McMahon Insurance Agency, Ocean City, New Jersey office. So insurance agency is a keyword and we're good, okay? Same thing here. We provides business, commercial, and personal insurance coverages to our in our Ocean City NJ location. Very simple. So when you're searching on Google, this is what you'll see. Okay. All right. Let's talk about NAPs. and hopefully you're not napping. And I don't know if you guys find any of my dad jokes funny, but we're not talking about this nap. We're talking about this nap: name, address, phone number. What does that mean? It's an acronym. That's essentially what it means. It's an acronym, but it's needs to be, the nap for your business needs to be correct and consistent when optimizing your website and online presence for local search, because Google values accurate information for its users. I'm not going to go talk about this one because this is a very complicated and challenging thing to do, but it's not that expensive. The thing that I want you to be mindful of is, as long as you have your Google My Business or Google Business profile, your website, and wherever else, as long as it's consistent, leave it alone until you get some help or you ask a few questions. But the thing is, if you're not confident, don't do it. And here's the thing: you do a citation audit, which is like directories, so like Yelp, Foursquare, MapQuest, Apple Maps, and you got to make sure that you're consistent across the board. And if you have multiple locations, then that's a different challenge. But if you're uncomfortable doing it, don't do it, because it could be a few $100 activity that you hire an agency to do. But if you mess it up, it's going to cost you thousands and months, potentially years, or you may not even be able to fix it. Because the hardest thing to do with some of these directories is to change names, because they won't do it. Some of these directories just don't update them, and then you're just challenged with trying to fix it. So that is all I wanted to address on this. Name, address, phone number, be consistent with it on your site and anything you can control, and then worry about this later, okay? Now, this is one of my favorite things you can do today, okay? Dedicate some time to this and you will see that things will start moving in the right direction. So first and foremost, Google Business Profile used to be called Google My Business. Everybody can get one. If you don't have a physical location, you can still get one, okay? I'm going to assume that you have one set up, but if you don't have one set up, just type in Google Business Profile, put in your company name, put in as, if it's your home address, put in your home address. I would get a forwarding number. Don't use your cell phone. I've done that mistake in the past, and then you're going to get a lot of spam. So make sure you get a company phone line and at least forward it to your, phone. Whether you only have one phone or two, doesn't matter, but set it up. You may get a postcard, you text message, a phone call. There may be different ways they're going to verify it. The reason they do that is they don't want you to spam it, because what people were doing is setting up multiple locations throughout the country and just spamming, the map pack or the snack pack. So the reason why I love this is you do not need, on the top left, I was trying to show an agency. You do not need an agency. You can hire one, but it's not going to be cheap. I think you can use that money on something else, 100%. And I'm telling you, because this is what I do. Some clients come to us because they just don't have the bandwidth, but if you can dedicate time, and I'll give you a handout after this, and ask me questions, you can do it. And you don't need expensive software. Some of the things that I'm talking about, you can do in Canva with a free license. I have Adobe Suite, Photoshop, Illustrator, everything, and I use Canva. Even this presentation is on Canva. So you have free tools that you can use. You don't need to pay for that. But what you do need is a website, Google My Business Profile, and the cell phone. So if you don't have a website, you could still do this, but you should get a website eventually, okay? Because Google Business Profiles are still very valuable. So here's the thing. I don't want to, it was hard for me to present this without sharing some client secrets. So I just took some screenshots. And this is one of my dearest clients. Schumacher Insurance are awesome. And the reason I showed this is I want to give you a different look and different way things are happening. And they're also a client of mine. I'm a client of theirs. This is a Google Business Profile. It took screenshots. So what does this consist of? Pictures, content, photos, you name it. So what do we do with this, and how do we do this well? So first and foremost, I will give you the handout, which I'll share in a second, but I want you to see what makes this page good, friendly, approachable, right? So for some reason, this is an old photo, but Google picks photos, but adding photos, okay? So treat it as almost like a social media tool, but don't go too crazy with this. This was a Super Bowl party. And the reason I want you to use your phone is because your phone has tracking data, whether you know it or not. it knows where you took your photo. So if you take a photo from your location, obviously, don't share patient information unless you have consent forms, but maybe of your staff, your office, maybe decorations, whatever it is, use your phone. It has location data. When you do that, it helps optimize your page, okay? Obviously, reviews, that's something that needs to be discussed. And you can't do that unless it's approved by your board. But things like hours of operation, questions and answers, content, right? So this is all the stuff I control. This is all the stuff that Google displays. This is called Google Posts. You think of it as like social media posting, but more with an intent of promoting a product or service. So maybe you have promotions going on. I don't know what kind of promotions you have, but I've seen out of network physical therapists promoting if you buy 10 a 10 pack, you get like 30% off or something. But if you look at these, again, this is on a desktop. On the phone, it's got the call now button, so you're hitting it on the phone. And what you're really doing here is, as a user, why is this awesome? Because if you have a phone, you can look at the website, you can get directions, you can save, or you can call. And this information Google will give you insight on. So that's what this is. So when you get this set up, and it's changed a few times, there's a blank section, fill it in. Fill it in with whatever you do. And don't worry about the keywords. Just type what you do, okay? So it's not that yet. So I know that I did go fast, and there is a handout. I believe it's already attached in this screen, but I have plenty of these too. So it's very long, but everything you need to do here. So primary navigation, I highlighted this for you guys. And then also everything you need to do, everything you need to do right and wrong. So for example, Glenmont Consulting, wrong, Glenmont Consulting LLC, right? Everything you need to do to optimize your Google My Business profile is here, from image sizes, obviously the reviews. This is what I was, your ethics code for behavior and analysts, section 5.07. I highlighted that because I do not want you to get in trouble. But obviously, if things change or there's ways to do this, here's best practices, here's photo best practices, and Google Post best practices. Personally, I think it should take you about 90 minutes. If it's your first time doing it, maybe I'll take you a few days because you're going to chip away at it time and time again. But that's all you need to do, okay? So this is available to you. And if you do this in the group and you are getting started and you hit a roadblock, take a picture, post it in the group, and I'll give you instant feedback in that group. And again, the reason I'm trying to try and push everybody into the group, because there's nothing to hide here, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to help, children, families that need your service, and we're trying to make it easier for them, right? So there's nothing secret here. There's no secrets to hide. Do the best you can, share in the group, I'll answer it, and maybe you're gonna help others. And by doing that, that's how we can all help more families get ABA, the services you're gonna provide. All right, so that is it. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right, that is all I have.
We have a couple questions that have come in, and just a reminder, if you joined late, there is a questions section on your GoToWebinar pane that you can type in your questions for Pete. For those of you who did join late, this is recorded and you will receive a recording afterwards. You can catch up on what you might have missed. Pete has a couple times referred to the startup group that we have. So for anyone that is interested in joining, if you haven't already, that's in the chat. And not only do we have a Facebook group where you can bounce ideas off each other, speak to experts like Pete or people at Rethink, but you can also get access to lots of resources like these webinars that we host monthly, and a sandbox account on our Rethink demo account if you do not have one already. So use that link if you're interested. Pete, a couple questions came in while you were chatting. So the first one was, how do you optimize the Google Map embedded feature when you are providing online services?
Great question. So the way you do it is it's a service area. So when you say online, so let's split the two. So if you're providing online across the country, local SEO doesn't work. But if you're doing remote sessions in New Jersey, because that's where you can provide practices, you can do an area, and it's called provide services too. So for example, a similar industry could be like a plumber, right? So they don't have a physical location because they come to your house. So that's how I would do it. But if you're talking about courses, then that's a different ball game. That's more SEO and funneling and things like that.
Awesome. And Carly, if you have any specific questions surrounding that, feel free to type those in and we can address it further. Another question that came in is, what would you suggest in putting addresses on your website if you don't have a physical office space and you're providing home-based services in client homes?
Oh, that's a great question. So that's the same thing, right? So when you are setting up let's assume you didn't set up your Google business account, you will be given an opportunity. Do you provide services here or you provide them there at your clients? So pick that selection. For example, I have a sister who is an awesome physical therapist, and her name is Mobile PT. And she was just going into homes. She actually went from in-home to in-person, so her strategy is changing. But that's literally what we did. We just created a service area, so where she would drive to, and it was just about a 20-minute drive for where she was located. You set that radius in Google, and then that's how you do it.
Awesome. So far, no other questions have come in, so we'll hang on for just another minute. As you exit the webinar today, you will receive a survey, so you can give us some feedback on any future webinars that you would like for us to host. In January and February, we will be talking a little bit of OBM and how you can work that into starting your own practice. And then we will also be talking about finance and accounting. So look forward to seeing you guys there, and you will receive more information about those webinars in the next few weeks. As Pete mentioned, you also have a handout if you go to the handouts section of your GoToWebinar pane on all the information that he provided to you today. And just one final reminder that you can also access him on our Facebook user group for the startup community. So he is in there answering questions all the time. And Pete, we really appreciate that. And we appreciate your time today. So thank you so much. And if you guys have any additional questions, you can reach out to webinars@rethinkbh.com. Hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.